Ladies and gentlemen, every morning begins with a familiar ritual. The kettle whistles, the aroma of tea fills the air, and that warm, comforting cup rests between your hands. It feels harmless, peaceful, even rejuvenating, but hidden inside that simple act could be the one habit silently draining your strength, your energy, and your confidence. The truth is that what you're putting into your tea every morning could be quietly destroying the very foundation of your manhood. Most men never even realize it because it doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, one sip at a time. You see, your body runs on balance. It needs hormones, minerals, and clean blood flow to keep you active, confident, and masculine. But every time you drop that spoon of processed sugar, pour that artificial creamer, or add a flavored powder to make your tea taste better, you're sending toxic messages to your body. Chemicals and those additives start interfering with your testosterone production, and what feels like a harmless indulgence is actually a slow poison. These hidden ingredients mimic estrogen, the hormone that lowers male energy and sexual vitality. So while you think you're just starting your day right, you're actually pushing your natural power out of balance, and the first signs are so subtle, you might ignore them at first. Maybe you feel a little more tired than usual, maybe you're not as focused at work, or you notice you're not sleeping as deeply as before. You blame it on stress or aging, but deep inside your body, there's a silent battle happening. Your hormonal system is struggling to maintain its natural rhythm, and with every cup filled with artificial ingredients, it gets harder for your body to recover. Your testosterone drops, your blood circulation weakens, and your drive, the spark that once defined your energy, starts to fade. By the time evening arrives and your wife looks at you expecting closeness, affection, and that emotional spark, you feel drained, your energy feels empty. You don't understand why, because you're eating right, you're working hard, you're doing everything you're supposed to, but that one innocent daily drink has become your greatest enemy. It's weakening your body's chemistry and breaking down the bridge between you and the woman you love. Most people don't know that certain popular tea brands use synthetic flavor enhancers that contain compounds similar to plastic molecules. When these chemicals enter your bloodstream, they disrupt your body's natural ability to regulate hormones. Even worse, the constant exposure builds up over time, making it harder for your system to detoxify. So you may drink one cup today, feel fine, drink another tomorrow, feel fine again, but months later, you'll wake up wondering why you've lost your energy, your focus, your drive, and why your wife feels distant emotionally and physically. Your morning tea should fuel your vitality, not steal it. The idea that something so comforting could be the root cause of your fatigue and frustration sounds unbelievable, but science backs it up. Researchers have discovered that certain sweeteners and emulsifiers found in instant tea mixes can interfere with testosterone levels by tricking your brain into thinking it has enough sugar, while actually starving your cells of real energy. This leads to insulin resistance, low energy, and hormonal confusion. So when you think you're boosting your day with a quick fix, you're actually dimming your body's natural fire. The human body is designed to respond to nature, not to chemicals. Your ancestors drank pure tea leaves steeped in clean water, maybe a spoon of honey or a slice of lemon, and that kept their systems strong, their hearts healthy, and their intimacy alive. But today most men have replaced purity with convenience. They chase instant flavor instead of real nourishment, and the cost is paid not just in physical weakness, but emotional distance. The tea that once woke you up is now slowly putting your masculinity to sleep. Imagine your wife watching you change over time. The man who once had energy, confidence, and passion now seems distracted, irritable, or simply tired. She might think you've lost interest, or that something's wrong in your relationship. But the real problem is invisible. It's floating in your teacup every morning, and unless you recognize it, you'll keep drinking away the very strength that once made you who you are. Every drop matters, because your body listens to what you give it. The ingredients you choose tell your hormones how to behave. They either fuel your masculinity or suffocate it. And it all begins with what you stir into your tea. That first sip can decide how the rest of your day, your energy, and even your marriage will feel. So the next time you stand by that stove and reach for that artificial creamer or sugar packet, remember this: the cup that feels like comfort might be quietly killing your confidence from the inside out, and the power to change it is already in your hands. Most men don't realize that the real danger to their strength and vitality isn't always visible. It doesn't come from age or lack of exercise. It comes from small things they consume every day, One of the biggest culprits hides in plain sight inside your morning cup of tea. The things you add to it believing they'll make it stronger or more energizing are often doing the exact opposite. The so-called boosters, energy powders, flavored sachets, or instant tea mixes contain compounds that act like silent thieves, robbing your body of its natural testosterone. Without you ever noticing, your body's masculinity depends on one vital hormone, testosterone. It gives you your energy, your focus, your muscle strength, your confidence, and even your desire for intimacy. It's what makes you feel alive. But when you constantly expose your body to artificial chemicals, especially the ones that mimic estrogen, your hormonal system starts to get confused. The brain can't tell the difference between real signals and fake ones, so it slows down your natural testosterone production, thinking it has enough. This is called hormonal disruption, and it's one of the biggest hidden causes behind low energy, poor mood, and fading drive in men today. You may not notice it at first, but slowly you start to feel different. Your mornings feel heavier, your patience grows thinner, and even your motivation starts to fade. That spark that once made you feel sharp, strong, and ready to conquer the day is replaced with dullness. You drink more tea thinking it will wake you up, but it only adds more chemicals to your bloodstream, repeating the same cycle again and again. And every time you do that, your body loses a little more of its natural edge. Your hormone balance continues to tilt, and you unknowingly step deeper into what I call the testosterone trap. Scientists have found that certain tea flavor enhancers and artificial sweeteners have molecular structures similar to female hormones. When men consume them regularly, these compounds act like tiny estrogen imitators. They bind to hormone receptors in the male body and block testosterone from doing its job. It's like putting the wrong key into the lock of your body's power system. It fits, but it doesn't open anything. Instead, it jams the system, and the result is simple. Your body starts storing fat more easily, your energy drops, your focus weakens, and your drive, both mental and physical, starts to fade away. And while you're losing your balance inside, your wife begins to notice something outside. She sees the change, she senses the lack of spark. She wonders why you seem less connected or less confident. She might even take it personally, but in truth it's your hormones crying for help. Every cup of tea laced with these chemicals pushes you further from the man you were meant to be. It's not her fault, and it's not even fully yours, because no one told you that these everyday ingredients could quietly steal your strength from the inside out. But the good news is this: your body is capable of recovering faster than you think once you stop feeding it fake hormones and chemical toxins. The balance begins to return naturally. Testosterone starts flowing again, your energy becomes steady, your focus sharper, your stamina stronger. And yes, your wife notices it too, because real vitality can't be faked. It shines through in your voice, your presence, your confidence. So before you add another spoon of instant flavor or pour another premixed tea pack, ask yourself, what are you really putting into your body? Are you feeding your power or draining it? Are you building strength or surrendering it, one sip at a time? Because every man deserves to feel alive, powerful, and desired. But that can only happen when your hormones are working for you, not against you. And that starts with understanding this simple truth: what looks like harmless tea could actually be the testosterone trap that's keeping you from the life and love you truly deserve. You wake up tired, but push yourself through the morning anyway. You grab that cup of tea hoping it will wake you up, maybe even add a little extra sugar or one of those instant energy powders to get that spark going. The first few sips hit perfectly. Your mind feels alert, your body feels alive. You think to yourself, this is what I needed to start the day. But that sudden rush of energy is not what it seems, because what goes up must come down, and when it comes to your hormones, your blood sugar, and your stamina, that crash hits hard and silently chips away at your confidence. What you're actually feeling isn't real energy, it's a forced reaction. Artificial spike created by stimulants that push your body to work faster than it should. Caffeine and processed sugars flood your system, making you feel temporarily awake, but deep down they drain the very cells that produce real energy. The result: you might feel active for an hour or two, but once your body burns through that temporary fuel, you're left weaker than before. Your blood sugar dips, your brain fogs up, your muscles feel lazy, and worst of all, your mood sinks. This is the beginning of what doctors call the fatigue cycle, and it's one of the biggest silent destroyers of men's vitality. Most men don't notice it happening. They think it's normal to feel exhausted by the end of the day. They think being overworked or getting older is to blame, but that's not the whole truth. What's really happening is that their body has become dependent on artificial highs that never last. Each cup of chemically enhanced tea gives a false sense of strength, but leaves behind exhaustion, irritability, and loss of stamina. And when this happens every single day, it starts affecting not just your body, but your relationship too. Your wife notices before you do. She sees the tired eyes, the heavy sighs, lack of energy in the evening. She tries to reach out to you emotionally, but your mind is already too tired to respond. Your body wants to rest, but your heart feels guilty because deep down you remember how things used to be when you had more drive, more laughter, more connection. You don't realize that the same tea that wakes you up in the morning is what's stealing those moments from you later at night. The problem isn't tea itself, the problem is the kind of tea and what's in it. Those processed flavorings, artificial sugars, and instant energizers create spikes that your body pays for later with hormonal imbalance. Your adrenal glands, the ones that control your energy and testosterone levels, get overworked and start producing less and less over time. It's like squeezing a sponge dry every day until one day there's nothing left to give. That's why men who rely heavily on stimulants often report fatigue, poor focus, and even performance issues despite being physically healthy. The internal balance has been hijacked by chemicals. Now imagine this happening day after day, month after month, year after year. Your body begins to forget how to make energy naturally. Your testosterone stays low, your blood flow weakens, your metabolism slows, and that spark your wife used to see in your eyes starts to fade. That's when she begins to say things like you've changed or you're not the same anymore, not realizing that it's not you, it's what you've been feeding your body with every morning. The solution is not to give up tea, but to break free from the roller coaster. Start replacing artificial boosters with natural ones, real ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, or raw honey. These ingredients support blood circulation, stabilize hormones, and provide lasting energy without the crash. When your body starts receiving real nourishment instead of fake stimulation, you'll notice the difference. Your energy will feel clean, steady, and real. Your mood will lift, your focus will return, and your evenings will no longer feel like a struggle. They'll feel alive again. So the next time you take that first sip and feel the rush, ask yourself, is this real power or a trap waiting to drain me later? Because that short burst of energy might be costing you your strength, your mood, and the connection that matters most. Your wife doesn't want the man who drinks himself into exhaustion. She wants one who's present strong and full of life. And that begins when you stop chasing fake energy and start fueling real vitality from within. It always starts quietly. You don't even notice the shift. First, a little less conversation at dinner, a little less laughter before bed. The spark that once came so naturally between you and your wife begins to dim. She looks at you differently, not because she loves you less, but because something in your energy has changed, and she can feel it long before you do. Your body might still move the same, but your presence, your warmth, your confidence, it's all softer, quieter, almost like a light fading in slow motion. What most men don't realize is that this change doesn't begin in the heart, it begins in the hormones, and often it starts with something as simple as that daily cup of tea. When your hormones go out of balance because of processed additives and artificial chemicals in your tea, your body begins to send out signals without you even knowing it. Your posture changes, your tone shifts, your patience runs thinner, your focus scatters. These are not just mood swings, they're physical signs that your testosterone level, your natural male drive, is dropping. And testosterone isn't just about desire, it's about energy, purpose, and connection. It gives you that spark in your eyes, that calm authority in your voice, that quiet but steady confidence that your partner feels and trusts. When that fades, she feels the loss, like a silence between words. Your wife doesn't see hormone levels, she sees the results. She sees the man who once looked at her with intensity now staring at his phone. She feels the distance in the small things, the lack of touch, the forgotten compliments, the shorter conversations. She may not say it out loud, but deep inside, she wondering where that man went, the one who made her feel desired and safe. The truth is, he didn't disappear. He's just being dimmed by everyday choices that weaken his body from the inside out. The additives and flavor enhancers in your tea might seem innocent, but they're powerful disruptors of your natural rhythm. When these chemicals mimic estrogen, your brain receives false messages. It lowers testosterone production thinking everything is balanced, but what it's really doing is cutting off the fuel that drives your energy and passion. And when testosterone drops, blood flow slows. Believe when no one else does. Fades, you might still love her the same, but love without energy feels different when you come home tired, disconnected, or too drained to talk. It sends a silent message, one that says I'm here but not really here, and she feels that deeper than words can express. The irony is you might think she's changed to less affectionate, less understanding, but what she's really doing is responding to the shift she feels in you. Her body reacts to your energy, it always has, and when that energy becomes dull, she mirrors it back without even realizing it. But here's the truth, women don't want perfection, they want presence. They want to feel that strong, calm energy from you, that sense of stability that makes them feel safe and alive. That can only come when your body is running on balance, when your testosterone is healthy, your blood circulation is strong, and your mind is sharp and focused. That's when she feels you, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, because connections start inside you before it ever reaches her. The good news is that balance can return the moment you choose to stop feeding your body the things that steal your strength. When you trade processed tea mixes for pure ingredients like real leaves, ginger, lemon, or honey, your hormones begin to reset, your energy stabilizes, your mood lifts, and your natural drive returns. And when that happens, she feels it instantly, not through words, but through the way you look at her, the way you listen, the way your presence fills the room again. Women are deeply intuitive. They can sense when a man's energy is alive and when it's fading, and that's why she may have started to pull away, not out of anger, but out of confusion. She misses the man who once brought warmth and passion into her world, and that man is still there. He's just buried under fatigue and imbalance caused by the smallest things you never thought mattered. So if you truly want to bring that connection back, start where it began, with your body, with your health, with that one cup of tea that you drink every day, because when your energy rises, your confidence returns. And when that happens, she won't just notice the change, she'll feel it in every heartbeat, every word, and every touch. For centuries, men have turned to tea not just as a drink, but as a ritual, a source of calm, strength, and clarity. Our ancestors didn't have flavored powders or instant packets. They had real leaves, dried herbs, and natural spices drawn straight from the earth. Every sip was filled with life, every ingredient carried purpose, but somewhere along the way we replaced that purity with convenience, and in doing so we traded our natural strength for chemical comfort. The truth is, the modern cup of tea has changed, and so have the results it gives your body. Those processed creamers, those artificially flavored sachets, and the sugars that promise instant satisfaction, they are not fuel. They are slow poison. They rob your body of what it truly needs to thrive. The difference between natural power and chemical poison isn't just about taste, it's about how your body reacts inside. Natural ingredients like ginger, cinnamon, and honey communicate with your system. They awaken blood flow, balance your hormones, and help your organs work in harmony. Chemicals, on the other hand, confuse your system. They send false signals, overload your liver, and block the very pathways that keep your testosterone alive. Ginger is known for its ability to improve circulation. It warms the body from within and increases blood flow naturally, something every man needs, not just for health but for energy and vitality. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, keeping your energy steady instead of rising and crashing like it does after processed sugars. Honey nourishes your cells with natural antioxidants while supporting healthy testosterone levels. These are not just old remedies, they are nature's science, simple and pure ingredients that have kept men strong for generations. Compare that to what's inside most instant tea products: artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and colorants that mimic taste without giving your body anything real. These fake ingredients force your adrenal glands to work overtime. They drain your energy reserves, and they alter your mood, making you feel restless during the day and exhausted at night. It's like fueling a car with the wrong liquid. It might